So the big question today is, should I buy my therapist a present or not? You might have seen from some of my posts on Facebook or on some of my YouTube videos, you might have picked up on the fact that on Wednesday I'm ending with my therapist that I have been seeing weekly for 3 years, predominantly because I'm changing courses and I need to see a different style of therapist to do that course. But that doesn't necessarily make it much easier to say goodbye. So I've done a bit of research on the topic and it seems that there is a real divide in opinion. Some people think that you definitely should not buy your therapist a present, predominantly because A, they are a professional, and do professional people not like presents? And B, because they think that it blurs the boundaries between therapist and client, in that it could allude to the fact that there is sort of like a friendship there, and thus making it less professional. I think they're the reasons why it's seen as inappropriate. However, some people think that small gestures are absolutely fine and acceptable, and they say that they're really happy to receive small gifts because it makes them feel really good about the work that they've done with that person and how much they've helped them. So, eeny, meeny, miny, moe on this one, I guess, really. I think it's interesting to point out that at this stage I have no idea what my therapist's preference is on being given presents, because let's face it, you don't go, hey, can I get you a present? So I'm thinking that today I'm going to go out and try and get something that feels appropriate, but I have no clue how it will be received. And in some of this stuff that I've read, some therapists actively refuse gifts, which would, I think, feel like quite a gigantic slap of rejection if after all that time together where you feel like this person has made a massively positive contribution to your life, the last interaction you have with them is that they turn around and go, no thanks. So there is a degree of risk in deciding to give your therapist a present depending on their preferences. However, they don't come with a tag, footnote, whatever, saying, if at the end you feel like you want to give me a gift, this is my stance on the situation. So proceed with caution would be my advice at this stage, and only do it if it absolutely feels like that person will take care of you in that interaction. So I'm heading off into town to see what I can find and if I can come up with anything appropriate. I am not gonna lie, I feel really uncomfortable because just even taking this trip is making it more real, and I have done my level best to avoid acknowledging the feelings that are rising in me when it comes to knowing that I'm going to have to say goodbye to somebody that I don't really want to say goodbye to. So the card's a bit bigger than I'd hoped for, but the present is bang on, and the card being oversized makes the point that I am really, really thankful. So the reality of this situation is that after I did my shopping, we went on to some of the bigger retail outlet stores on the outskirts of town, and walking around the shop I was just sort of in too much pain to continue the shopping trip, so I've come back and waited in the car by myself. I really think that I am burying my sadness inside my stomach. That's gonna sound crazy, apparently we have an emotional brain inside our gut, and some people get like tension headaches, other people get extremely uncomfortable abdominal pains when emotionally all is not well. And I think that's exactly what is happening here. Potentially if I go home and have like a massive cry about how I feel, then maybe my tummy ache might stop, or maybe if I try my venting stuff and I go and write it down, that might help too. But I think what my body is trying to tell me is that not confronting my true feelings is not the way forward, and not being comfortable enough to be able to walk around a shop is not ideal. I think it makes sense for me to share with you what I've spent the evening writing. I'm going to read from the sheet of paper, so I'll be looking down for this part of the video. Apologies that it's not the most exciting content in the world.
Okay, there aren't really words to say thank you in a way that will express the true extent of how grateful I am to you. You have supported me through the most challenging and painful phase of my life, which led to the happiest and proudest moment of my life. If I had known what I was going to have to endure before all this began, I would have never signed up for it, because I wouldn't have believed that I was strong enough to get through it. But with your support, things I never would have deemed possible have become my reality. Someone asked me one day, in the middle of our work, if therapy was helping, and I said, well, he doesn't say much or give his opinion very often, probably because you struggled to get a word in, but that since I'd been working with you, I had been able to keep control of my mental health, even when faced with the most challenging adversity. Upon realising this, that's when I truly recognised how great you were. I know that I am devastated to be ending our work together, because every time I think about it, I either get stomach cramps, feel like I'm going to burst into tears, or can't speak, and you know how much that takes. Although I'm gutted to say goodbye, deep down I know that I have made this choice. Perhaps it's time that I have a new adventure and let someone else have the privilege of working with you in my slot instead. I expect that I will always continue to reflect on our work, and I will definitely do so with happiness. You are absolutely amazing at your job, and you can take from this that you will always influence and shape my work. If I can help people in the way that you have helped me, then I'll look back over my counselling career one day and think, I smashed it. Thank you so much, and thank you in ways you'll never know.
Rebecca. So at the end of what has been a really long day, I'm going to sum up with the following. Firstly, I look goofy as when I wear my glasses and read stuff. Awkward. Secondly, I definitely think that if you want to buy your therapist a present, you totally should, because part of the therapeutic experience is about the client leading the work. So if the client feels that they want to acknowledge their therapist and show them what they meant to them and take those feelings that are in them and put them over to the therapist to say, this is what I'm feeling, then why would that be wrong? So I have reached the point tonight where I feel that even if I give my gift and it's not received as I would hope, it's actually going to be something that I can take home with me and I can keep somewhere safe, and every time I look at it I can think, yeah, that was that. So I've chosen something that I feel connects so perfectly to the work that whether he keeps it or whether I keep it, it's going to be special. So that's really good. And I do know that he will take care of me however he plays that on Wednesday. And all of the stuff I read said it's always fine to write a card. So to write a card and a message and say exactly how I feel says more than a gift, because like you've just heard, you can put it all in there and you don't have to leave anything out. So I feel now like I'm going to go to my session on Wednesday totally prepared for an ending that feels happy and comfortable and better than I could have hoped for. And I will post another video following that session so that you can see how I felt on the night before I went in and how I felt coming out and how it goes. So fingers crossed for Wednesday.